To the initial budget hearing of the Subcommittee O of the Committee on Finance to discuss the proposed outlay of number one, the Film Development Council of the Philippines, or FDCP, and the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, or the MTRCB. Well, this is the first time that the Senate Finance Committee holds its budget briefings in this venue, and I am pleased to welcome all of you here in PICC for our briefing. Mas maganda yata dito. The briefing is now called into order. Anyway, thank you to all our resource persons from the FDCP. Where is Direct Joey?
Mr. Chair, he's on his way po. Some roads are still flooded in Taft Avenue po. So he'll be here in a few minutes po.
Okay. May we ask our committee secretary to spread into the records the names of our officials from the FDCP and MTRCB who are present so they may be properly acknowledged.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. This committee would like to acknowledge the presence of our guests from the Film Development Council of the Philippines, Mr. Daniel David Morales, Ms. Shirley Kilap-Kelap, Ms. Rachel Villaluna, Mr. Joselito Coronel. From the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, we have Chairperson Deorella Maria Lala Soto Antonio, Board Member Attorney Cesar Pareja, Board Member Glenn Patricio. We have Executive Director Roberto Diciembre, Attorney Ana Farina Midlano, Ms. Erlinda Tirado, Ms. Jesusa Lorenzo, Mr. Alan Llanos, Attorney Ina Tolentino, Ms. Leslie De Vera, Ms. Delia Baldo, Mr. Carl Reden Baldos. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. We will be tackling the 2025 budget proposals of two government agencies under the Office of the President, the FDCP and the MTRCB. These two agencies have a crucial role in promoting, supporting, and developing our local film industry, which in recent years have proven that we have what it takes to compete internationally. The FDCP, under the Office of the President, was created by virtue of Republic Act 9167 on June 7, 2002. It is their mandate to formulate policies and implement programs to upgrade the art and craft of filmmaking and encourage the production of films for commercial purposes. The agency envisions to provide public entertainment that seek to enhance the quality of life, examine the human and social conditions, and contribute to the dignity and nobility of the human spirit, and maximize the country's comparative advantage as a location site for international television and filmmaking, as well as to generate income, promote tourism, and enhance the image of the country abroad. On the other hand, the MTRCB, which is also under the Office of the President, was formed 38 years ago, or on October 5, 1985, initially as the Board of Censors for Motion Pictures through Republic Act number 3060. Through the years, its composition and mandate were reconstituted to what it is now. For an orderly discussion, and we will discuss first the proposal of the proposed budget of the MTRCB to be followed by the FDCP kasi wala pa naman si Direct Joey. And before we proceed, we will allow our colleagues to deliver their opening statements. If you have any, Chairperson Lala.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada. Maraming salamat po. It is indeed my honor that I present to you today the National Expenditure Program for the fiscal year 2025 of the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board. Kindly direct your attention to the screen, please. Our vision is to be a dynamic regulatory body that champions the creation of a nation of informed and empowered Filipino viewers in collaboration with a responsible and thriving movie and television industry. Our mission is centered on protecting the Filipino child by empowering families, educating parents to be active partners in responsableng panonood tungo sa bagong Pilipinas, and fostering a regulatory environment that balances efficiency with stakeholder engagement. In promoting Filipino cultural values and advocating for responsible industry regulation, we also champion inclusivity in discussions on family viewership in the digital age. This commitment is reflected in our continuous engagement with parents, students, educators, media practitioners, and social media influencers. Through co-regulation, we foster and nurture local and international and cooperation toward the development of a responsible but globally competitive movie and television industry. We are equally committed to uplifting the standard and spirit of service of our human resources, enduring a dynamic and globally competitive media environment. Our strategic direction focuses on improving efficiency, modernizing our operations, and enhancing public engagement. This budget is a crucial step in realizing these objectives, and we respectfully seek your support in advancing our shared mission. In pursuit of our developmental mandate, we've conducted our Responsableng Panonood Tungo sa Bagong Pilipinas campaign, which aims to help supervising adults manage their children's viewing habits and create safe viewing experiences from 2023 to present. We've conducted our Responsableng Panonood campaign implementation, campaign launch with stakeholders, parent advocates, teachers, pulong with our stakeholders, the creative industry, including directors, producers, and production staff, roll out in the city of Victorias for parents and teachers, roll out in Bacolod City, where we formally launched the Responsableng Panonood campaign in Visayas, seminar for the local government of Bacoor, Cavite staff and constituents, seminar for the doctors and staff of the Philippine Children's Medical Center, Responsableng Pagguhit Logo Making Contest, Responsableng Pagguhit Logo Making Contest Awarding Ceremony, Seminar on Long-Distance Parenting for Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, Episcopal for the Pastoral Care of Migrants and Itinerant People, OFWs. We've also conducted Responsableng Paggabay seminars for GMA 7 and TV5, which is part of our ongoing initiative to keep program producers abreast with the latest issuances of the MTRCB and provide guidance on compliance. To strengthen our enforcement mandate, we have conducted deputy webinars to capacitate our deputies to effectively perform their monitoring duties, helping the MTRCB monitor compliance of entities under our jurisdiction nationwide. We have received recognition from the Presidential Communications Office Freedom of Information Program for our commitment to uphold transparency and accountability in compliance with Executive Order Number 02S2016. The MTRCB also supported Pure Gold Cine Panalo Film Festival. The Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino Unang Antas awarded the MTRCB with the Selyo ng Kahusayan Unang Antas for our efforts of our agency to use Filipino in our official documents and information materials. We took part in the Cinema Exhibitors Association of the Philippines Cine Expo, showing our commitment to support the local film industry and theater operators by way of co-regulation. We held a family and media summit. We featured distinguished guests from government and the entertainment industry. We have also built collaborative relationships with other stakeholders to benchmark best practices, promote digital and parental control tools, and amplify our messaging on responsible viewership. We represented the Philippines during the International Institute of Communications Latin American and Caribbean Forum, where we showcased the positive collaboration with video-on-demand providers. Delegates lauded the Responsabling Panonood campaign of the MTRCB and were impressed by our proactive and positive relationship with the online streaming platforms, even with the absence of jurisdiction. We also participated in important meetings and discussions organized by the Asia Video Industry Association. Improving our service delivery in the review and classification of media under the jurisdiction of the FDCP, we have entered into a memorandum of agreement with the Korea Media Rating Board. Likewise, we have entered into discussions with the Indonesian Film Censorship Institution, who paid a study visit to the MTRCB to learn about our Responsabling Panonood campaign, and they have also committed to share their best practices in content regulation. Recognizing the influence of popular social media applications with short-form user-generated content, we have had meetings with TikTok and Meta to collaborate on initiatives that aim to promote parental controls, ensuring children are not inadvertently exposed to potential online harm. We've also had continuing cooperation with the SEAP to drive viewers to enjoy the unique viewing experience in cinemas, and entered into memorandum of agreements with different government and non-government organizations to help disseminate our Responsabling Panonood campaign across different sectors. Mr. Chairman, I would like to proceed to the financial performance as of December 2023. The table above shows the financial performance of the MTRCB for fiscal year 2023. From the 172,042,000 allotment received, 97.72% or 168,012,000 of it was obligated, and 68.28% or 115,079,000 was disbursed for the fiscal year 2023. The unobligated allotment amounting to 2,079,000 was moved as continuing appropriation. The unpaid obligations amounting to 53.33 million was recorded as accounts payable and paid during the first to third quarter of fiscal year 2024. As of December 2023, the Monitoring and Inspection Unit, as well as the board members, in-house deputy agents, and deputy volunteers, conducted 113,651 monitoring activities. This includes the monitoring of films, television programs, plugs, trailers, publicity materials, and inspection of entities such as theaters, public utility vehicles, buses and ferries, and other entities under the MTRCB's jurisdiction. 146 violations were monitored and reported. The MTRCB, pursuant to Section 3 of the Presidential Decree 1986, is mandated with the power to review and classify movie, television materials, and other related publicity materials, to supervise, regulate, and grant, deny, or cancel permits for importation, exportation of films, and television material. For fiscal year 2023, the board reviewed 128,997 materials composed of films, television programs, optical media publicity materials, and import-export permits. For fiscal year 2023, 255,220 or 100% of applications were checked, encoded, and assessed on the first day of its filing and or submission. Applications were processed, reviewed, and permits were released within 10 days. The alternative dispute resolution process enforced by the board encourages parties to explore whether the dispute can be resolved by agreement rather than by a formal proceeding. For fiscal year 2023, 470 cases were referred to the Hearing and Adjudication Committee. Out of the 470 cases filed, 470 cases were resolved and decided through the conduct of best practices conferences with the stakeholders concerned. The Matalinong Panonood and Responsableng Panonood campaigns are flagship projects of the MTRCB, which aims to empower parents and responsible adults, even kasambahays, to determine the media and entertainment that their children see. This enables every supervising adult in the understanding and appreciation of the ratings and classification system for film and television. For fiscal year 2023, the MTRCB has conducted 35 seminars, fora, and information campaign activities under this banner. With a target to earn 92 million worth of revenue for fiscal year 2023, we attained 126.41%, or an equivalent of 116,299,000 total revenue as of December 31, 2023. We proceed now, Mr. Chairman, to the financial performance as of July 31, 2024. The table above shows the financial performance of the MTRCB as of July 31, 2024. From the 131,029,000 allotment received, 58.02%, or 76,017,000 of it was obligated, and 77.79%, or 59,026,000 was disbursed. The unobligated allotment amounting to 55,012,000 is allocated for the remaining projects, activities, programs of the MTRCB till December 2024. As of July 2024, the Monitoring and Inspection Unit, as well as the board members, in-house deputy agents, and deputy volunteers conducted 56,679 monitoring activities. 36 violations were monitored and reported. As of July 2024, the board reviewed 152,620 materials composed of films, television programs, optical media, publicity materials, and import-export permits. 152,620, or 100% of applications, were checked, encoded, and assessed on the first day of its filing and/or submission as of July 2024. Applications were processed, reviewed, and permits were released within 10 days. As of July 2024, 46 cases were referred to the Hearing and Adjudication Committee. Out of the 46 cases filed, 22 cases were resolved and decided through the conduct of best practices conferences with the stakeholders concerned. The MTRCB has conducted 27 seminars, fora, and information campaign activities under the banners of Matalinong Panonood and Responsableng Panonood as of July 2024. With a target to earn 94 million worth of revenue for fiscal year 2024, we attained 76.87%, or an equivalent of 72,026,000 total revenue as of July 31, 2024. For the fiscal year 2025 National Expenditure Program, the total proposed budget for fiscal year 2025 is a total of 164,077,000. Only the personal services in the total amount of 47,544,000 is sourced from the national government. The remaining amount of 116,533,000 is sourced from the agency's collected income. For the budget dimensions, by allotment class. The graph shows the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025 with a total of 164,077,000. The personal services amounting to 47,544,000 comprises 29% of the total budget that is sourced from the national government. The remaining 71% for the maintenance and other operating expenses and capital outlay amounting to 116,533,000 is sourced from the agency's collected income. The graph shows the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025 by appropriation source with a total of 164,077,000. The agency specific for personal services amounting to 44,652,000 comprises of the 27% of the total budget, while the 2% of which will be for the retirement and life insurance premium GSIS, the remaining 71% will be sourced in special account in the general fund or the maintenance and other operating expenses and capital outlay amounting to 116,533,000. I'm happy to report, Mr. Chairman, that as of July 31, 2024, the book balance of our sinking fund or our savings amounts to 587,866,624.57. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Lala. Out of the, those are sinking fund, how much are you allowed to spend? Based on the DBM.
Still the same, Mr. Chairman. It is still up to the DBM to approve our proposed budget. So if there is an amount that we would like to spend or appropriate, we would have to go through the DBM, go through the process and request for their approval, whether it be 1 billion, 5 billion, 10 million, doesn't matter.
Just decide among yourselves?
Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman,
yeah, you still have to
no.
seek permission from the DBM?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Siguro we can talk to the officials of the DBM para kayo na mismo gumamit ng inyong seeking fund.
Mr. Chairman,
Have you tried negotiating with them?
yes, Mr. Chairman, we've entered into many dialogues with them, and they have been very accommodating. But however, this is something that has not been solved, but we are hoping with the amendment to the MTRCB charter, maybe this would be addressed.
All right. Which part of your proposed budget for 2025 is aimed at modernizing your operations as provided in your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Then
For our MOOE.
I take note that the huge part of your original budget proposal to DBM was particularly the capital outlay is not approved. In fact, only 66% of your proposal was recommended. Am I correct? How can you modernize when you are not given enough budget for...
We make do, Mr. Chairman, with what we are given.
Magkano ba yung pinopose nyo?
The total... Mr. Chairman, may we recognize the head of our Admin and Finance Department, Ms. Early Tarado.
Good morning, Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a proposed budget for under Tier 2 amounting to 85,337,000, and yet hindi po ito naisama sa recommended budget po ni DBM sa MTRCB po.
Can you explain again, what are the Tier 2 projects whose budgets were neither approved by the DBM nor included in the 2025 National Expenditure Program?
Yes, Chair. We have a budget proposal for personal services for the upgrading of positions, amounting to 9,966,000. For the maintenance and other operating expenses, we have MTRCB reclassified 2 million, Evergreen Classic Children's Classic Film Showing 400,000, Stakeholders Compliance Seminars 1 million, Responsabling Pag-aaral 4 million, Engagement of Service for the Conduct of Research Study on Contemporary Filipino Cultural Values and Interests and Emerging Trend in Mass and Digital Media Platforms amounting to 10 million, repair renovation of comfort room in compliance to BP 344, 700,000, and repainting of building facade, 800,000, installation of air curtain in MTRCB, 100,000. For the capital outlay, we have a proposed budget for the purchase of motor vehicle, procurement of motor vehicle, 3 units amounting to 7 million, and the ICT software, supply, delivery, installation, and configuration of document management and tracking system, 12 million, ICT equipment, high-end laptops with various softwares, 860,000, laptops, 70,000, heavy-duty scanners, 160,000, heavy-duty scanner for the MIU unit, 84,000, and for the office equipment, interactive touch panel with base bracket, 227,000, supply, delivery, and installation of genset, 9,400,000, supply and installation of solar rooftop, 13,500,000. And for the building po, repair renovation of office, 2,490,000. A total of 85,337,000.
Itong Tier 2 projects, programs, hindi ba pwede i-charge to the sinking fund?
Actually, Chair, all the budget for the MOOE and capital outlay, galing po ito sa aming sinking fund.
So pwede.
Pwede po, Chair, actually.
So, nag-coordinate pa kayo sa TBM?
Yes,
And
Chair.
it was approved?
Yes, Chair.
All right. For the record, may we be informed about the capital outlay projects which are proposed to be funded for 2025? Last year wala kayong CO, no? Wala kayong capital outlay. Ngayon meron kayong 20 plus, no?
2,350,000.
2 million lang ba?
Yes, sir, for
2
the
million?
ICT equipment only.
For the
ICT for the IT po.
Okay. Anyway, during the plenary debates last year, during the 2024 budget last year, I remember Senator Alan Peter Cayetano and Senator Joel Villanueva raised and supported the idea of MTRCB putting up a research arm to establish clear and reasonable review guidelines rooted in Filipino values and to study the MTRCB law relative to the expansion of its mandate to include digital media and continuing research about the Filipino audience, which can help filmmakers and television productions. Can the MTRCB share before this body any developments or explorations made towards this direction?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, we did request to the DBM last year upon the recommendations of the senators, and it was disapproved.
Disapproved? What was the reason why it was disapproved?
I don't recall them telling us any reason why it was disapproved, but
Did they put it in writing? Can we have a copy?
no,
Why it was
there was no
disapproved?
explanation in writing.
Ano, verbal?
Opo.
No, it didn't reflect doon sa 2024 budget namin, sir. Although we immediately requested the Senate Committee on Finance informing them yung proposal. I think we requested for 10 million for research. And for the next year, we also included that in the Tier 2. But unfortunately, all of our Tier 2 proposals were not included in the proposed budget.
They did not give you any reason why they disapproved?
Yes.
Huh?
Mr. Chairman, when it is not included in the approved budget, it is to be understood that it is already disapproved. And that has always been the way since I was appointed in the MTRCB.
Well, anyway, okay, may phone-in question lang. Did you mention you made representations with Meta and TikTok?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Can the MTRCB please reiterate the purpose of these meetings with these two social media platforms?
This is part of our...
Is this included in your mandate?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This is, if I may, this is part of our Responsableng Panonood campaign. Since social media and user-generated content platforms do not belong to our jurisdiction, but we do receive all the complaints from the general public and the parents.
So, is it within your mandate?
No,
Ito
it is
mga-
not within our mandate, but we did conduct meetings with them because it's part of our Responsableng Panonood when that we foster partnerships with the online curated content services.
But
Just to be able to discuss with us what measures, safeguards, and security measures that we could make in order for us to help the parent partners that we have made partners and the parent advocates of the MTRCB.
So hindi nyo sakop itong mga social media,
Hindi po.
Netflix?
Budget.
Paano yung Viva Max?
Hindi rin po.
Ha?
Hindi pa po. Well, may school of thoughts po. Merong nagsasabi sa mga board members namin na dapat jurisdiction namin. But during the hearing with the committee of Senator Robin Padilla, sinabi nila na wala pa namang internet during in 1985 when PD 1986 was created. So, hindi pa namin jurisdiction yung online. So, given that, nagkaroon po ng amendments doon sa aming charter. So, yung po mga ginagawa ni Chair Lala, talking with, having meaningful dialogues with these online or mga providers, streaming providers, even SOCMED platforms, ay proactive po. Kasi po, ako as the ED, we receive so many complaints sa Facebook, sa Netflix, sa lahat ng mga yan.
Yung Viva Max, maraming reklamo?
Ay, opo. Marami po. Marami po. Talagang...
So how can we solve this problem? Kasi kahit sino, kahit minor de edad, pwedeng manood ng yung mga pelikula na X-rated, supposedly X-rated, lalo na doon sa Viva Max. How can you control it? How can we regulate it?
Mr. Chairman, truthfully, it is impossible to regulate all these online curated content platform services. We cannot review, classify each and every material before it is exhibited on the screens. First, it is not within our mandate, it is not within our purview, and it is humanly impossible. But we have proposed that
Humanly impossible because there
there are
volumes.
only 31 board members, and there are thousands, even millions of materials to be reviewed if we will be reviewing online streaming. And the board is not capable of doing so, Mr. Chairman. But please allow me to share with you what we were thinking and what we were proposing, maybe to appropriate mechanisms for content control is in a way that we want to ensure that there would be a cooperation with the online streaming apps, with the online curated content providers by using safeguards, ensuring that there is safety by design, and that we are able to establish with them a feedback mechanism, which is, I think, of utmost importance for the MTRCB as a regulator. that when we establish a strong feedback mechanism with a focal contact point from the OCCs, then it is going to be easy for us to address the concerns and complaints from the general public, especially the parents who continue to be very bothered about what the content that their children are exposed to. But we need an assurance from the OCCs, from these providers, that they would provide us with responsiveness and accountability to their content.
Thank you, Madam Lala.
Thank you po.
Have you talked with the owners of Viva Max to... Hindi niyo pa nakakausap si Boss Big?
Yes, Mr.
Huh?
Chairman, we did.
What did he say? What did you say?
We have entered into dialogues with them. They have been trying their best to cooperate with us.
Trying their best?
They're trying
But
their
they're
best.
still producing...
They do have PIN codes. They have created another online streaming app apart from Viva Max, which is Viva One. So we appreciate the efforts, but unfortunately, the content still bothers the general public.
I was informed that Senator Padilla, as the chair of the Committee on Public Info, is set to sponsor a committee report amending the MTRCB charter. Am I correct? To include these digital contents?
Yes,
in
Mr.
streaming
Chairman.
Platforms. And that will really be a big help na talagang pwede nyo nang i-regulate ito mga lalo ni Viva Max. I haven't watched any movie of Viva Max, but according to those who are always watching this, medyo may pagkalaswa ng konti. Anyway, how many movies have you classified for this year? From January to August.
May I be allowed, Mr. Chairman, to show you our presentations so that it would be
I just
easier?
missed it, siguro.
We have created graphs to show the reviewed film statistics.
This is from January.
Would you like to proceed to 2025?
Yes.
Okay, 2024.
Hindi,
Sorry,
2024
2024,
muna. Yan,
please.
okay. You have classified 252 films, both foreign and local.
Yes,
Correct?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Ito bang mga local films ito? 114 films? Indie.
We have in the
How many percent yung indie films?
70 of that,
Yung
70.
mainstream's 44?
yes. 70 indie movies and then 44 mainstream for the local films.
Okay, 2025? I'm sorry, 2023.
Na-excite lang. 2023, we have 111 indies and 90 mainstream local films, Mr. Chairman.
Ano itong mga mainstream movies na pinalalabas? We have 96?
90.
90? Oh, marami Ha? Did they make money? Kasama na dyan yung sa Metro Manila Film Festival. Did they make
Altogether.
money yung mga 90 films nito? 90 mainstream films, no? Ha?
Yung nasa
Only the film festival. Yung sila, Ding Dong.
Yes. They're included here. Rewind is included.
After those blockbuster hits during the last Metro Manila Film Festival, wala na sumunod. Lahat bagsak.
Unhappy for You did very, very well.
Mainstream.
Yes.
What about these indie films?
Well, they didn't make much.
Low budget naman yan.
Apa.
It's a foreign films.
So foreign films, everything that produced by the foreign producers and were distributed by our local distributors.
Okay, 2024 nga please. Okay, out of the 44 mainstream movies, ilan yung kumita dyan? Only one?
The best person to answer when it comes to the earnings would be the FDCP chairman.
Only one? The 43
Ilan daw
mainstream movies
kumita?
did not make money?
Some broke even, but a great number, I'm sorry. Some broke even, but a greater number lost money.
So why are they still trying to produce if they're losing money?
Out of compulsion. And hopefully to be picked up by the platforms.
What about the indie films? Wala.
Well, the chances of them making money would be much more, Chairman, Mr. Chairman, because
It's low budget.
of the low
Low-
budget.
What about the foreign films? How many out of the 138 foreign films?
Not all of them made money. There are also some major flops among them. But then there are some event movies and some surprising hits, like the Thai film, How to Make Millions When Grind. But that's a
Yes, yes.
regional hit. And then there are some which are surprising, like when Barbie came out and Oppenheimer came
Barbie.
out. These came as a surprise because they were hits. And they're not the Marvel sort of theme park kind of movies. But a great number, Mr. Chairman, also they just made enough, but were not really blockbuster hits. There are only a handful, which are usually the worldwide hits.
Mhm. So you review the total of 200, as we speak, 252 films.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as of
August pa
August
lang.
2024,
So how many do you expect in these coming months? Of course, the Metro Manila Film Festival, yung mga movies sa
we
MFF.
Mr. Chairman, we expect to exceed the 472 total films reviewed in 2023.
Do you expect 2020, yung mga movies sa 2024 to be higher than 2023?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, MTRCB issued an X rating against the documentary movie Alipato at Moog, one of the films which competed in the Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival, where it received a special jury prize. The movie is about the disappearance and abduction of activist Jonas Burgos in 2007. In a Facebook post appealing to the MTRCB, Director J.L. Burgos shared that on August 2024, the first reviewers, which is composed of 3 members of the board, disapproved the film from public exhibition. According to the reviewers, the reason for such classification is because the film tends to undermine the faith and confidence of the people in their government and or duly constituted authorities. Pero ayon sa pahayag ng UP Cinema, ang X-rating ay malinaw na manifestasyon ng sensura at pagyurak sa karapatan ng malayang paggawa ng pelikula. May panawagan din ito to end censorship against rights and justice advocates. Ayon naman sa NUJP, it is Jonas Burgos' and other activists' continued disappearance that undermines faith and confidence in the government. Neither does the board's decision inspire faith and confidence that the Philippines is a country where freedom of expression and people's right to know are more important than the state's self-image. What can the MTRCB say about this?
On freedom of expression, Mr. Chairman, we all know that freedom of expression is not absolute nor limitless. That is why there is a law in place. That is why there exists the MTRCB. That is why we have the Presidential Decree of 1986 to follow, because there is a law. Laws and rules are important in order to put order. Mr. Chairman, I do confirm that the first review of the said movie has been given an X rating. It was not allowed for public exhibition based on the judgment of the review committee. To make it clear, Mr. Chairman, we have given them an exemption permit asked by the CCP for the Cinemalaya Film Festival. Only, and we have given them an exemption permit for that. That is not curtailing freedom of expression or creation. They have also conducted academic film showings, which we didn't stop them from. That is not curtailing freedom of expression. We have a law to follow. It has been found to be violative, and we have indicated already the reason why it was X'd. It is the Section 3C2 of PD 1986 or Section 1FE of the IRR to the PD 1986. If I may be allowed to read, it's a very short sentence, Mr. Chairman. In the judgment of the board, the film tends to undermine the faith and confidence of the people in their government or duly constituted authorities. Therefore, the first review committee rated it X. However, they have already applied for second review, and they are scheduled to be reviewed by another review committee comprised of 5 board members on September 5.
So wala pa resolution, huh? Because they're still going to review it.
It has,
The second review.
yes, it has to be it has to be reviewed first for
Okay,
second
out
review.
of the 2X that you classified as X rated, what is the other film? Aside from this Alipato at Muog.
The other film was the Dear Santa movie.
Dear Santa,
It was, well, Dear Satan movie.
Dear Satan.
Dear Satan. Is it a foreign film?
No, it's a local film.
Who directed it?
Again,
Joey
Mr.
Reyes?
Chairman, no. Mr. Chairman, it was also found to be violative of the Presidential Decree of 1986.
What is the I'm just curious. What is the content of the movie?
Can I say
Focuses-
something there, Chair? That was part of a Mowal Fund workshop script. The idea was a little girl was writing to Santa Claus, but she misspelled Santa for Satan. And it was Satan who received her wish list for Christmas. So Satan came to life and went to the little girl and was humanized by the little girl in the process. Nangangahulugan, nagkamali ng spelling ng bata, nasulat niya Dear Satan instead of Dear Santa. At nabuhay si Satan, and then Satan went to the little girl, and Satan was taught love by the little girl.
So it was never exhibited in public.
No, Mr. Chairman, it
Did
was
they
given
appeal?
an X rating. They have not appealed yet, but it has been found to be violative
Who's
of
the
the
who's
PD
the director?
1986.
How did you find the film?
I have not seen the film. I was there for the workshop. Okay, when they were pitching the film, that's why I know the content.
Who reviewed it?
I have seen the film.
How
I
was it?
joined the board. I am offended as a Christian.
Ano yung demonic?
No, it is not demonic, but it is a depiction of, it has a different depiction of Satan becoming good. Satan will never ever be good.
Yes, of course. So they haven't filed for an appeal.
No, they have. They have come up with an article, I think, appealing for they did change the title. They're appealing for a change in the rating. However, Mr. Chairman, the chairperson of the board does not have the unilateral power to modify, downgrade, reverse the decision of the review committee when they have already reviewed a particular material. No, Mr.
So-
Chairman, I only execute the decision of the board.
So how many board members are reviewing per movie?
For the
Only
first
3.
review, just 3, and then the second review, 5.
So lahat na yung 114 yan, halimbawa yung 114 local films, tatlo lang.
All,
Each movie, tatlo.
yes, Mr. Chairman, all 31 board members review with 8-hour running time a day.
Kailangan unanimous. For example, tatlo kayo. Ha?
Kailangan majority.
Majority.
That's why there are 3 of them and 5 of them.
Hindi pwedeng unanimous na tatlo. No, kasi Kasi, well, iniisip ko kasi yung kaso ko sa legal. Pag tatlo, kapag dalawa, kailangan kukuha pa ng dalawang member para maging majority. So 2 out of 3 pwede na.
2 out of 3, and then they end up discussing, and then they'll come up with one decision. And yes, one report. One report.
Okay, are you satisfied with your budget? Huh? Ano?
Mr. Chairman, may we recognize the Executive Director of the MTRCB?
As much as we want to increase, syempre gusto namin mas malaki, sir, pero in the meantime, ina-assure din naman kami ng DBM na pagka na-utilize namin, let's say more than 70% of our allocation for next year, pwede na namin i-request yung mga tier 2 namin and other programs and projects na gusto namin i-implement.
Okay, siguro maybe the MTRCB family may wish to submit before this subcommittee finance your agency's wish list. So according to your priorities, and we shall study them and we'll see what we can do to increase your 2025 budget, hopefully, considering meron pa kayong sinking fund.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay?
Sir, ready na po kami dyan.
Okay. Meron na? Okay. Submit na. So, thank you to the MTRCB family, and rest assured that I will always support your budget, being also a member of the movie industry. Okay, the proposed allocation of the MTRCB budget for fiscal year is fiscal year 2025 is deemed submitted to the plenary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Kain muna kayo. Meron mga silang pagkain? O sabi, nagtitipid tayo. BMR pa. Ay, mamaya na, mamaya na. Oh. a PowerPoint presentation. So, let's proceed. Sige, habang pinapalabas yung ano, pwede naman kumain.
Naka-trigger na. Let's start. Mamaya-maya na yan sa akin kasi magpe-present muna. Saan yung PowerPoint? Okay, Mr. Chair, I can begin now.
Please, please.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hello, the MTRCB. All right, now, the Film Development Council of the Philippines has realigned certain priorities, and we are dividing this presentation into three parts. The first part is a summary of what we have done. The second part is the state of our finances, and the third part is our plans. All right, for the first part, before I go into the first part, which is the mandate, and then the structure, and then the financial performance, as well as that of the proposed budget, and then the priority wish list, and then the updates of the key projects. Let me just give an overview of how we have decided to realign the priorities of the FDCP. Unang-una dito, ang aming apat na prioridad ay education, professionalization, globalization, and the most important, preservation. All right. In terms of education, we could see the projects that we have devoted or created precisely for educational purposes in terms of training, not only for filmmakers and film professionals, but more so of the students. The second is professionalization, because part of our plan is to not only professionalize, but to give a credence and a credential and certification to anybody who goes to the film set. And then globalization, that is something that has been established by the past administration, which is to expand the presence of Philippine cinema, not only within the region, but then worldwide through the participation in various film markets as well as film festivals. And then lastly, preservation, which I consider, or we consider most important, which is archiving and restoration of classic films. All right, so let me go through first.
If I may butt in, Direct Joey, Chairman Joey, do sa preservation, how many films do you have in store?
How many
Sa
do we-
archives?
I'm recognizing ED Dan, okay, our Executive Director Dan.
Mr. Chair, currently po we have about 47,000 elements. So it's a mix of not just the film reels, there are also tapes and the posters and behind-the-scene photos from the movies done before.
What is the oldest film that you have in store?
Basically, the Gerardo de Leon films. Okay, it's way back.
That is 19.
That's 1940, 50s, 1940s and
That's the
1950s.
oldest
Yeah.
that you have
Yeah.
in store in
Yeah.
the
The rest are
archives.
already, Mr. Chair, the rest are dead films. In other words, copies are not in their entirety, or we have lost them completely.
Sad.
Well, Mr. Chair, just for the record, 40% of my films are lost films. And I started doing films in the 80s.
It has been lost already.
Yeah, because negatives and prints no longer exist, and the only copies are in either Betamax or VHS, which cannot be restored nor color corrected anymore.
What about the movies of, for example, FPJ?
We have a lot of that. We have a lot of that, Mr. Chair, mainly
I
because
think that he has, when he was still alive, I know he has preserved
yes.
all his films.
Yes, Mr. Chair, there are only two producers who are really very conscious in preservation. That is Armida Sigonreina and FPJ. Because it is costly to preserve these negatives.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have films of my father?
Yes, we do.
How many?
Oh, that I don't know. I don't have the number
Because
right now. but we
sadly,
do.
I've lost track of the films of my father, and those films were really classic.
Yeah, that is why, Mr. Chair, one of our goals is to be able to do the preservation right here in our country to cut cost. If we get the machine here, train people for preservation, and then come up with a kind of vault which can preserve these films.
You cannot restore it here, no? You can the old films. You cannot
No,
restore it.
right
So it's
now
not broadcastable.
No, not broadcastable. Right now, we can preserve here, we can do restoration here, but it's so expensive.
So you might as well go to abroad.
We might as well go abroad and then make use of the technology abroad. The cheapest that we can go is India. Okay?
They restore films
They
there?
do restore films there, and a number of our films from our archives are restored in India.
How is it? When you restore it, does it become broadcastable?
Yes, it does. It becomes
really?
broadcast. Yes, it does.
Some goes to Singapore to have their films restored.
Yeah, a number of countries. I mean, the real high-end restoration takes place in Europe, but it costs an arm and a leg. And for the producer, wala nang ROI yun. Okay, so it's just plainly for preservation. So if we get a machine here, we hopefully got a donation from somebody up there, okay, to purchase the machine for restoration. So
How much does the machine cost?
it costs about 25 to 27 million.
Do you have technicians who knows to operate?
We are
that?
training that. Before we can use that, we have to train people
Yes.
to handle the machine as well as to...
Why did you not include it in your budget? Yung pagbili ng machine. Should have proposed it in your budget sa NEP.
Rachel Villaluna, who is our division head for policy and planning. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, it's part of our wish list. Unfortunately, DBM has only approved around 9 million for the budget of for preservation next year. So we are hoping that
Meron 9 million dito.
yes, Mr.
Alright.
Chair.
So kulang pa ng around 20
Yeah,
million.
20 million to play safe. Yeah.
Take note. Sige, continue.
Thank you. All right. So we have globalization, finally our preservation. So let me just go through the major activities first, please. These are the things that we went through last year. These are our major events. One of the things that we found most important is to bring the movies back to the people. So we hold Cine Sintao every February. We show films, basically rom-coms and love films from the present to the past. We show them in Luneta, in the open air theater in Luneta. And we plan to do more of that, Mr. Chair. We plan to bring, if people don't go to the cinemas, then we will go to the people. Okay, we're going to have open air showings, okay, in various LGU venues which can identify. Secondly, we have the... No, we don't, but then we usually outsource them, okay, because they're only token M. But when we finally go to the public with the various LGUs, we will be needing such equipment, of which we are getting next year, right? Of which we are getting January of next year. All right? And then we have Parangal ng Sining. We pruned down our award-giving function, okay, by giving an annual award to Lifetime Achievement Awards to people who we believe were really significant in changing and creating the present landscape of Philippine cinema. Then we have various stakeholders meetings and consultations which are done regularly, which is with our Board of Trustees. One of the biggest innovations done since the time of Chair Tirso is our education division. Of course, we already give grants to the IFSAP, which is the International Film Studies Assistant Program, of which we send kids and professionals in various training programs and in various seminars and workshops, of which we gave 38 grantees last year. Then we created something which we consider very vital, which is the Student Film Assistance Program, of which we give a maximum of 50,000 for thesis films done by students all over the country. If they have, they're planning to do short films or documentaries as the final project for their baccalaureate degrees. There have been 20 grantees given, okay? 20 grantees given ranging from 30,000 to 50,000 per project. And then we have other key activities. The Full Circle Lab is a European-based lab which comes over here and does incubation work for various scriptwriters and projects which need development. We have the Academic Film Society. We have 65 schools and colleges and universities which offer com arts, film, and other media-related majors. We formed an organization of which later on I will explain. We're having a major national conference of film education scheduled this month in September in about 2 weeks' time. Then we have the Meissner course for actors. Meissner is a school of acting which has been developed and at the same time recognized Filipino actors who are certified Meissner teachers. This is Angeli Bayani, and we give these workshops not only to professional actors or members of the Guild of Actor, but also to up-and-coming up-and-coming actors as well as that of students, of young actors. Then
Direct Joey, what is Meissner?
Meissner is a school, parang Stanislavski, parang Eric Morris. It's a
Okay.
school of acting. We have a project, it's a dream project of ours which we will fulfill this November, of which we are getting actors from 3 various...
Crash course for actor, parang workshop.
Yeah,
ganun?
yeah.
It's like a workshop.
Yeah. It's a workshop ranging from 5 to 6
Who administers the workshop? Who teaches?
Angeli Bayani. Angeli Bayani.
Okay. Not you?
No. I'm not that good an actor to teach. All right? And then film talks and workshops, marami kami ginagawa niyan. And then the film school, and then the incubation workshop. This incubation workshop has been proven to be very successful. We have scriptwriters with ideas of films which are globally in nature, and then we bring them together with mentors so that these scripts can be developed and eventually produced. When the scripts are finally put together, we are bringing these writers to have a pitching session with producers so that they may be able to see fruition for their dream projects. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, here's the work of the festivals divisions namin. Okay, I'll just breeze through this. We have the Philippine Embassy Assistance Program, the FDCP, provides films, usually from our library or through various producers, in which we have 12 partnerships, and then we have already shown 19 licensed films all over the world through our Philippine embassies. We have also the International Film Festival Assistance Program, of which if various films are invited abroad, whether in exhibition or in competition, we give them financial assistance. And then filmmakers, that there are 14 filmmakers and producers were assisted from January to June of 2024. This is just for the first 6 months. Then we have the Festival Partnership Program, of which we have partnerships with various festivals. This is Singapore. We have the Festival Development Assistance Program. These are OMB clearances, etc. In other words, tumutulong kami. Yeah. Can I proceed?
Why do you have to seek clearance from the optical media board?
Every time we send screeners abroad, screeners for festivals, whether they are in USB or whatever, hard drive, we have to get clearance from OMB.
Is it in the law? May batas yan?
Yeah. And that sometimes takes time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wala naman ginagawa ang OMB.
But we have to, it's part of the protocol na kailangan before we send anything abroad.
Hindi, kasi I'm filing a bill to abolish the OMB. It's not functioning anymore.
Mr. Chair, let it be on record that I'm not instrumental to this idea.
I am.
Okay. Yes, we do, because it's part of the protocol that every time you send a screener abroad for a festival, it has to have the approval of the OMB. All right? Perhaps.
Function right now.
And maybe what would be interesting, Mr. Chair,
Wala naman silang hinuhuli na. I don't think wala nang mga pirated films.
No. I mean, everything pirated right now is online. It's
Yeah.
online, and it's sent through Facebook. It's sent through TikTok. It's sent through So, and there are sometimes online sites, and they're sold. I do not know what OMB is doing about that. Yung online monitoring of
All right.
piracy.
Maybe we can ask them sa budget na hearing nila.
And then next is we have the International Film Market Assistance. Okay, so projects which go abroad, we in terms of films, we give them financial assistance, and then finally the International Film Festival market participation.
How much assistance do you give, Direct?
We usually pay for the badges. Okay, which can be costly depending on the festival. We give them badges, and basically that. And sometimes, like for instance, in
You get it from the capital outlay?
Yeah. Okay. OOE. Ano yan? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So in other words, we help producers join the festivals by giving them badges, and we come up with our own Philippine pavilion because these pavilions cost a lot, and if a producer cannot afford that, they can join the Philippine pavilion. So in other words, we provide a common venue for producers to do their business in the festivals. Next slide, please. We cut down, proudly, we cut down the number of festivals that we participated in compared to the past, with the simple reason that if there is no real purpose for going to a festival, then we will not go. Otherwise, if we do not have the films to show, then there is no point in going there. So we have decided to come up only with these 5 major festivals, okay? This year, from January to June, we have participated in this festival, the Berlinale, okay, because we were selling films and selling the Philippines in terms of market in Berlinale, in terms of location, and in terms of co-production possibilities. We went to the Hong Kong Film Mart, which is one of the 2 most important film markets in Asia. And here we had a major participation, and then so many producers joined us and had their participation in our Philippine pavilion. And then we have the Udine Far East International Film Festival. It may look like it's a minor festival, but it is a festival in Europe which honors Filipino and Asian films. So, pardon? Udine. This is in Italy. Okay, Italy, near the border near Switzerland. Okay, and then we have the Cannes International Film Festival, and then finally, Annecy International Film Festival is for animation. Okay? Ang dami-daming Filipino animators who are brought there, and then they can not only sell their products, but then also find co-production possibilities in terms of animation.
Okay, among the 5 international film festivals, which is the most prestigious? Cannes
Cannes and Berlinale.
and Berlinare.
Yeah.
Berlinare.
Berlinale. Okay, Berlin and Cannes are the 2 most important ones.
All right.
Yeah. And right now, we between now and December, we plan to go to Busan, which is another very important festival, the Busan International Film Festival. Yeah, in Korea, yeah. October, and then the American film market. Okay, we plan to have the first participation in American film market next week. A contingency of how many? 3, 5, 3. A contingency of 3 from among us will go to the Toronto International Film Festival, because luckily and happily we have a lot of Filipino participation in this year's Toronto Film Festival, including reshowing of the restored version of Bona. Okay, which will be shown again in the Toronto International Film Festival. Then finally, we're going to the Singapore International Film Festival sometime in December, as well as the London Locations Market. Okay, but yung mga minor festivals na ganyan, iilan lang sa amin, at most 5 lang sa amin ang pumupunta. At the most na yun. No, I don't. No, I don't. Mahal. Okay, mahal. If it's a market festival and it's a major festival like Berlinale or Cannes, I would go. Pero yung iba, unless my presence is really needed, that's the only time that I will go. Okay? Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. It all depends. For instance, in TIFF right now, because of schedule problem, Toronto, because it's the Philippine Film Industry Month, and then the Toronto International Film Festival, plus the Bacolod Film Festival, I could not go. Because it means I'll fly to Toronto for 3 days and then fly back. I think that's the kiss of death. Okay? So I just leave people who can stay longer, okay, to go to the festivals. We try to cut costs, Sen, okay? And the reason behind this, and it's not for the act of martyrdom, is rather than to spend so much in going to these festivals in which you only have a minor role, it's best to funnel it to people who really need money to go to these festivals. And these are the directors and the screenwriters, okay? Next, the exhibition division. Ito na yung mga number of films that we showed, okay? These are shown in Cinematheques, okay? In Cinematheques, as well as our partner cinemas through the Cinema Exhibitors Association of the Philippines. We showed a total of free films, 96 free films, of which the audience ranked from 5,129. We have 3 embassy partners. Total number of government agency partners are 4. And total number of private partners, we have 8. And total number of university partners, we have 11. Next slide, please. Okay, here the total number of paying film screens, 17 of them, of which we earned 375,540, which did not go to the FDCP but went to the National Treasury. Okay, we don't earn. Okay, and then the total number of the audience is 2,061. Total number of local films, 7. Total number of international films, 10. And total average number of screenings per film would be 14. Now, let me explain this total number of international films. Every time we go to a festival, we sometimes acquire or license international films, which we feel will not have any local distributor picking it up. These are the really arty films, okay, which we show in Cinematheques. Why? For instance, an example is Close. The Belgian film Close, or Anatomy of a Fall, okay, which won the Cannes last year. Walang kukuhang local distributor noon. So,
It wasn't exhibited publicly.
it was, okay, it was for a while, and these are niche market talaga yan, Sene. Yung mga artsy-fartsy, cinema watchers, eh. But we have to give it to them. We have to
What
give
is the genre?
beautiful crime story.
Crime?
Oh, it's a crime story. The story is about a writer who is being tried and accused of killing her husband. And at the end of the movie, you still would not know if she killed her husband or not. Beautifully crafted, beautifully directed. Another example that we are bringing in is an award-winning animation film from Cannes, which we know hindi naman pipick up yan ng producers, pero we're showing it. Okay, we're showing it because animation is a growing genre in our country. All right, next slide, please. Okay, exhibition division. Miss Lala, we have our own online platform called OneFlix. Okay, Deep OneFlix. Okay, it's an online platform. It's our version of Netflix, but it's OneFlix. But lo and behold, we have Filipino classics being shown here. Okay, we have Gerardo de Leon, we have Marilu Diaz-Abayas, Brocas, Bernals, as well as the films that we acquire for license, which are shown here. Sa madugong halagang 99 pesos a month. Okay, and this is accessible to a lot of students, especially those studying film. Cheaper than Viva Max, okay? And we have classic films being shown, okay? The number of subscribers right now is 67,483. And a great number of them are the film enthusiasts as well as students. The active number...
Why don't you promote this OneFlix?
We are. Since...
Said this is the first time I heard of it.
Kaya nga po.
Sana maging kasing sikat ng Viva Max para...
Naku, mahirap yun. Okay. But we are attaching this kasi to our academic film society, yung mga students natin, and we're offering them to schools so that the schools can ask their students to subscribe to OneFlix, especially if they have film courses.
Ito hindi na dumadaan sa MTRCB.
No, kadamihan dyan, mga super lumang films na mga
So,
classics like Brutal.
You don't need to classify it, no?
Doon na yan
Before. Hindi pa MTRCB yun, Board of Censors pa yun.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Before we release again, it has to pass by also.
Again?
Yeah. Di ba umiikot? Di ba? Or reissue? Online. No more pagod.
Hindi po kami nag-aano outside, yun lang online lang po yan. Okay? And then total number of films under subscription is 212. Total number of films under rentals, 2. Total number of films na under for free, which is free access, we have 17. Now, total number of paid transactions from January to June 2024, 815. Gross revenue is only 137. And then I've realized that this is really badly marketed. So now we're really, squeezing the neck of the people running this, that they have to deliver so much subscription, okay, by the end of the year. And then films released from January to June 2024, we have 64 films which were released. So we have to make it better known to the public that we have this platform which really specializes in classic films as well as
our Filipino classics as well. Next slide, please. Next of the activities and film festivals and partnerships, ito yung mga iba't ibang partnership namin dito within the Philippines. Okay, dito is within yung mga festivals dito na attached also to OneFlix. May 3 Shots Festival, Independencia, etc., etc. So we have all this which are attached to the online streaming ng OneFlix. And then later on, okay, we are coming up with our own. We have a YouTube channel which we hope to improve and upgrade. Okay, but then we are eventually going to create, Mr. Chair, parang Hollywood Reporter or parang ang actors on actors roundtable discussions, which will be shown first on our YouTube channel and then eventually uploaded in OneFlix, so that this is specifically meant for cinema enthusiasts and for students in the provinces who do not have access of being physically present in Manila to witness these roundtable discussions, like directors interviewed by directors, like we have Love Diaz discussing his movies. We have, we plan to invite Eugene Domingo and Angelica Panganiban discussing comedy. So in other words, these are purely educational discussions which we hope to bring from a public domain into OneFlix, which is our own streaming platform. Next slide, please. Then we have Film Philippines. Ito yung mga binibigyan namin ng grants. This is where a great bulk of our money go to. Okay, which is the giving of grants. Okay, the global number, the total number of applications is 31 projects received, but then the selected are 45 kasi may backlog yan, which I will explain to you later on. Okay, the global, which includes the FLIP, which is the Film Location Incentive Program, and the ICOF, ICOF International Co-Production Fund. Okay, the applications were 9 and 5 were selected. Of the local, Create Philippines, kunyari may pelikula kang gustong gawin, okay? Even on the onset, okay, of conception and then script development, you go to Create Philippines so that we can help you put together your film. 22 applied, 17 were accepted. Then local partnerships, special partnerships, not applicable ito. Okay, for Create Philippines, and we have 23 which were selected. Next slide, please. Then we have Film Philippines. Ito yung mga film markets na pinuntahan namin. 5, in-attend namin ng 5. Film Locations Engagement Desk. This is one of our major missions, how to sell the Philippines for film locations for various productions abroad. Total request is 48, and if all of them were endorsed, they bring in so much jobs and money to the country, especially when foreign productions come here. More important than that is the exchange of technology. Okay, we learn from these foreign productions in terms of various technical demands. And then we're going to improve this the National Registry. This was started by Dino 2 administrations ago, but now we're intensifying it. What is this? If you are a film worker, you have to join the National Registry. What is the purpose behind that? It's not to monitor who you are and what you do. So it's for the sole purpose now that if your foreign producer comes over and is looking for a cinematographer, looking for a sound editor, looking for a sound engineer rather, and then a film editor, we can give them all the names available. In other words, we make them accessible. Then if we know of certain delinquent practices of certain production houses, we can easily red flag them because we know that they're not the people to be recommended to the foreign productions. Next slide. Then they have ito yung Philippine Film Archive natin. As I mentioned before, one of my biggest pains is that 40% of the films I've made are all dead films. In other words, they cannot be shown anymore unless you'll be happy on its Betamax format. We have acquired 7,883 film elements. Okay, and we have also acquired 14 equipment and then 178 film books. I don't want to go through this in great detail because it could be tedious, but then it would be interesting to note that Sampaguita, bequeathed all their memorabilia to FDCP, which we hope to put up in a little museum when the Philippine Film Archive building in Intramuros is finally constructed. Okay, so we have all the memorabilia, and then one of our dream projects also is to come up with a library of Philippine film scripts and screenplays. So we are starting that. The moment the building is already ready, we are going to go through Star Cinema and all the productions. On the part of Regal, I am collecting all the still books and all yung mga pictures na nilalagay sa labas ng sinihan as part of the history of Philippine cinema before. Okay? All right. So ito mga film digitization unit namin and then the preservation unit.
Kailan matatapos yung construction ng building, Direk?
Okay. It all depends on the fund releases. But hopefully, July next year. Nag-start na.
How many percent na yung building?
Mga 45% tapos na. Pero yung mahirap dyan, Mr. Chair, yung conditions ng film archive, kailangan perfect yung vault in terms of temperature and then control and all that. A big amount of that building that's being constructed in Intramuros, 2/3 of it is the film archive. Only 1/3 is the FDCP. Okay? So, ando doon yung the film vault and then hopefully that's where we'll do our film
Who's
preservation.
doing the construction? DPWH?
Yeah, DPWH.
Nagpakita ka ng specs
Oo.
na kailangan na...
I think may religious follow-through doon. Okay? Ang nagiging problema lang talaga is yung time constraint. Okay? Na kung kailan siya matatapos. Akala namin December ready. Yung pala December phase 1 lang ready. Wala pang phase 2. Okay?
How big is the building? How many square meters?
How big is it?
Mr. Chair, approximately 870 plus square meters. 1 basement and 3 floors up. Yun po yung limit ng IA for the
So, saan nyo ilalagay yung archives?
second and third floor.
Second and third.
We have the Cinematheque,
Yung
the first
yung ground floor is Cinematheque and the mini museum. Yung archive is on the second and third floors. Okay, and yung building, yung FDCP occupies just 1/2 of the second and third floors. Right?
Excuse me, MTRCB, you're excused na po. Pero I'm not telling you to go home. If you just want to go home, it's okay with me. Okay, sige, you can listen, ha?
Yeah, because we will be talking soon, so at least you know what we're doing, okay? All right, next slide, please. Okay, here's the physical performance as of June 22 to 30 in terms of targets and accomplishments. Okay, the ratio of quality films shown to the number of films produced. The target is 5:8, and we have accomplished 6:8. Okay, the percentage of films given awards from those provided assistance is 42%. Ang target, our accomplishment is 73.4%. The percentage of increase in film workers provided employment over the previous year, ang target namin is 40%. Ang accomplishment is just a little bit low, 38%. Neto pa yung mga output indicators natin. The percentage of local films which is applied for cinema evaluation, not applicable anymore because the CEB has been deemed as unconstitutional. Yes po. Okay, nag-complain ng Cebu and the Supreme Court deemed it as unconstitutional. Then the percentage of films graded AB, wala.
Excuse me, ano yung it was deemed unconstitutional? What was that?
Yung pong Cinema Evaluation Board.
The Supreme Court deemed it unconstitutional?
Unconstitutional, yeah.
Mhm.
Remember before, you submit a film and it's graded A or B and then you get either 100% or 50% yeah. But then Cebu protested, okay? And as a result of that, it ran all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it's parang intrusion daw to the private sector yun. Yung
So wala na CEB? Wala na?
Wala na. Wala.
Abolished na?
Yeah, it has been abolished. Yeah, that was the purpose why the FDCP was created before. So that is why we are
Purpose of creating the CEB?
the CEB was created. The FDCP was created to manage the CEB.
MTRCB?
No. CEB.
FDCP?
Oo. Kaya po kinreate ang FDCP dahil ang FDCP ang nagma-manage ng Cinema Evaluation Board. This was the baby of Chair Lala's dad. Okay?
CEB?
Oo, the Cinema Evaluation Board. But
Kumbaga,
then,
sir, sa amin rating yung audience, sa kanila yung quality.
yung
So if
quality-
it's rated A or rated B, may mga perks yung producers para makabawi sila sa gastos.
It was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, yung rebating of the amusement tax. Oo. It was deemed unconstitutional.
Okay.
All right. And then next, percentage of stakeholders who rate promotional events as good or better, 95%, and we almost hit 96%. Percentage of films provided incentives and grants based on merit, 30%, and we accomplished 51%. And percentage of award-winning producers, directors, and actors given priority to avail of incentives, 50%, and then ang accomplishment is basically 40%. Next slide, please. Ito yung physical performance naman ng film heritage. Percentage of growth in archives. If you notice, ang laki ng increase namin sa growth of archive holdings, okay? Of people entrusting the FDCP with their archival materials. From 6% target, we have 11.16, which is practically double. Percentage of recoverable films made available for the public, ang aming na-aspire 0.70%, but then we achieved 2%. And percentage of persons viewing the restored films, 98% was achieved. Then the output indicators, the number of percentage of films evaluated and considered for restoration, 1,275 ang target, and we got 808. Okay, number of audiovisual elements managed and preserved, 1,500, and then we have 763, okay, of which mga film elements ang minamanage din. And then number of films restored, ang target is 1. But right now, it's 0 kasi matagal ang restoration. It could not have been covered in 6 months. It's still ongoing. Yeah, it's still ongoing yung restoration namin. All right. There are 2 films, okay, which are being restored right now, which we hope will also be picked up by international film festivals. Actually, one has already been picked up. One is Lino Broca's Jaguar, okay, which has been picked up by the Lumiere International Film Festival. And then the other is Mike De Leon's Sister Stella L. We were hoping that Sister Stella L would have been accomplished and restored properly, but then because of delays, because of the status of the negatives, it did not reach the deadline of the Venice Film Festival. Dapat sana, ang ganda, Bona was in Cannes and then Venice would have Vilma, but then unfortunately, hindi kinaya ng restoration. Okay, next slide, please. Now let me pass the bucket on to our beautiful Shirley Kelap, our OIC of Chief Administration Officer and Administrative and Finance Division. Shirley, take it away.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chair. Our FDCP 2023 budget, the allotment is inclusive of personnel services, MOE, and capital outlay is 307,494,000. The obligation was 152,828,000, and the balance is 154,665,000 with a total utilization of 49.7%.
Bakit mababa ang utilization rating? Why is it so low?
Actually po, it was affected by the subsidies, the incentives program po kasi meron kaming mga backlogs na hindi po nasasubmit pa po sa amin yung projects. Yung liquidation po nila hindi pa rin po submitted. But nito pong 2024, nakapag-submit na po sila. Ito pa po yung affected during pandemic kaya hindi po sila nakapag-submit po sa amin. Pero nitong up to this July of 2024, nag-submit na po sila kaya ongoing na po yung audit namin. And hopefully by this third to fourth quarter, ma-release na po namin yung mga backlogs. Kaya po kami low utilization dahil po sa mga incentives na ito. Yes po. And then, okay. Next slide, please. Okay. The FDCP 2022 continuing funds, MOE, is 69,794,000, and then capital outlay was 2,160,000. Total of 71,954,000. Obligation was 69,124,000. Balance is 2,829,000 with a total of utilization 96.07%. Total appropriation for 2023. Next slide, please. Personnel services, MOE, and capital outlay, 379,448,000. Total obligation was 21,953,000. Balance 157,494 with total utilization of 58.49%. And as of June 2024, our current fund and continuing fund, the allotment is 372,078,000. Total obligation 218,713,000. Balance of 153,364,000 with a utilization of 59%. As of June 2024 po ito, Mr. Chair. Okay. 2024 to 2025 proposed, what's this, budget for okay. The 2024 total budget for personal services, MOE and capital outlay, grand total of 215,483, and the actual NEP that we received from the DBM for 2025 is 336,437,000. So dito po sa ano kasi yung capital outlay, nasamahan po ito ng building na 27.9 million po. And then the rest po dun sa vehicle and iba pang, ayun sa vehicle po, inalat sa amin. Ayun. Actually po sa personal services, kaya po ito bumaba kasi meron po kaming mga unfilled positions. However po, this as of July, na-filled in po namin yung mga positions and then meron pa rin po kaming mga incoming pa. Ayun po.
As we speak, how many unfilled positions do you still have?
We have 8 po. Pero may ongoing po kami na 3 na pinost na rin po namin, accountant 2 and then program development officers, 2 po yun. And then the rest po, meron pa kaming ongoing pa rin pong pinapapost pa rin. So,
Do you vet them? Do you
Yes
vet them?
Actually po, we requested din po ng additional plantilla personnels po sana kasi marami po kaming mga ano talaga, mga magagaling na mga empleyado, wala kaming plantilla positions po.
Actually, that's also because of the expansion of certain programs, Mr. Chair. Because of the new programs that we are creating, as well as the expansion of some existing programs, kinukulang na kami ng personnel at kulang na ang mga plantilla position. And we sometimes lose good people who are COS because we cannot provide them with the plantilla position. So we are requesting for more plantilla posts with the expansion of certain programs and engagements.
Okay po. 2025 budget breakdown by PAP. General Administration and Support Services, total of 92,675,000. And PS, Personal Services is 17,213,000. MOE, 36,462,000. And capital outlay of 39 million. Sa film industry promotion and development services, 234,506,000, PS of 8,575,000, MOE 225,931,000, wala po silang capital outlay. And then sa Film Heritage Preservation Program, ang binigay po sa kanila ay total of 9,256,000. Ang personnel services po nito ay 1,243,000. MOE is 8,013,000. A total of 336,437,000, PS of 27,031,000, and MOE 270,406,000, and capital outlay of 39 million. Sorry. Percentage of budget. General services po is 36,462,000, which is 13.5%. Film Industry Promotion and Development Services, 225,931,000. This is 83.6%. Film Heritage Preservation Program is 8,013,000. This is 3%. A total of 270,406,000. Okay. Yan na po. Next slide po. Film Industry Promotion and Development Services, Education, Festivals, Exhibition, Communications, Film Philippines Office, OCSEO, and OED, Policy and Planning Unit, and salary of contract of service personnel, a grand total of 234,506,000. I'm very sorry po. Thank you. Film Heritage Preservation Program, contract of service, personnel salaries, supplies and materials, restoration and maintenance, travel expenses, other expenses, a grand total of 9,256,000. And then for the priority wish list, I will turn over to Ms. Rachel Villaluna.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. So for the priority wish list, we group it into three. So first, of course, is the group one is our most priority, and then following the second and third. So the first one is the Film Philippines Office, international and local incentive programs. So in order for FDCP to provide incentive for in relation to our mandate to promote the Philippines as a filming location, we need 89 million to open the
Is that the total?
cycles.
In total na yan, 89?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So just for this program or division of FDCP, it totals to 89 million. So basically, this includes for the film incentive program, promoting the Philippines as a filming location, and then for the PH. So basically, these are for the local filmmakers that we provide support in production of their film. And also for the special partnership program, which is basically the assistance that we provide to our partners such as the MMFF and Cinemalaya and Q Cinema. So next slide, please. And the next is the Philippine Film Archive. We need additional 3 million just for us to make sure that we are able to restore at least one film for next year. As mentioned earlier in the presentation of Ms. Shirley, the budget for PFA or the Philippine Film Archive is only 9.3 million. So we need an additional at least 3 million for them to be operational.
If I may interject, ang baba talaga na binibigay for film preservation. I think hindi nila na-realize yung value nito. Vis-a-vis. So, ang laking kakulangan. We want to preserve more films, but we just don't have the funds for it, Sen. And we cannot remove it naman from the incentives of selling the Philippines in terms of the foreign markets, nor giving grants and incentives to those who deserve it. So,
To justify it, why do you need more funds for preservation?
yung maintenance po ng machines,
Maintenance,
ng machines, and then the training of people to do the preservation, and then even keeping the...
So we can justify it just in case. No?
Yeah. So in other words, it's not only the act, but also the aftermath of preserving the films after. So that costs money.
So how much more do you need sa preservation?
Right here now, it's only 3 million that we're requesting.
For the group 1. But for the group 3, we have, can you move to next slide, please? Yeah. For, we need another 12 million for the mobile compactor film vault. But we're okay to move it to our group 3 priority list since we are still in the process of building the film heritage building. So we want it to be installed in the new building, Mr. Chair. So a total of around 16 million just for the archives.
Just for the archives.
Okay.
All right.
If I may just share, Mr. Chair, for the group 1 as well, can we move it back? before the slide before that. So for the 89 million that I was referring, it may be noteworthy that the economic return ratio for this is 13:1, meaning for every 1 peso incentive that we provide, 13 pesos goes back to the economy based on the spending of the foreign producers here in the Philippines. So next slide.
So it does make good investment po to have foreign producers come over. For every peso that FDCP gives as an incentive, 13 pesos is funneled back into the economy. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. No, but some don't, okay? But a lot do. Some come here on their own, like there was a Korean series that was shot here, which, they went straight. Okay,
No.
they went straight to the
It
Philippines.
was never coordinated.
It was not coordinated in our office.
Who did they coordinate?
That we do not know.
How can they shoot without coordinating with you?
There was a local line producer who did all the arrangements in getting permits and the likes.
Pwede ba yun?
Yes, pwede po yun. Because we don't have control of all foreign productions coming in. Okay, only those asking.
So what do you do if a foreign outfit wants to shoot here in our country? What is the role of the FDCP?
We can offer a lot, Mr. Chair. One is we can help make arrangements with the LGUs. We can help find local personnel to assist them.
Crew.
In terms of crew and
Of not only crew, in terms also of the technical assistance, we can look for production houses to help assist them. We can help a lot, and we can help make the network.
So, parang optional lang, no?
Yeah.
Optional lang.
Yeah. And a lot naman, from the number of co-productions that came in here, only one did not avail of our service. Okay? All the rest did.
Sino yan?
Yung Korean series. But all the rest usually would go to FDCP. And since we started a more active participation in markets, a lot are coming in. And seeking assistance. And that is why we are also coordinating with Secretary Abalos, okay, with the DILG, to help facilitate the cooperation of LGUs and to simplify matters because of the numerous bureaucracy of production. Okay.
And then for the group 2 part of our priority wish list is the Film Heritage Building. So as mentioned earlier, the phase 1, which amounts to 150 million, will be completed by the end of this year. However, the phase 2, which is of course the Cinematheque and the FD offices, will have to be completed by next year. But we are still lacking a budget of a total of 139.8 million, but DBM has already granted 27.9. So we are only needing 111 million 900 for the group 2 or phase 2 of the Film Heritage Building. And then next slide, please. And then for the group 3, we need the mobile file compactor for the Philippine Film Archive, and for the exhibition division, the purchase of DCP for Cinematheques, Manila, Iloilo, and Davao, which is around 15 million. And for group 3, the total is 27 million. So these two initiatives or projects, we want it to be installed in the new building. That's why it's put on the group 3 of our priority wish list. So next slide, please.
Wait, hold on. Let me just interject about the Cinematheques. Mr. Chair, I think one of the most successful programs of FDCP are the Cinematheques. These are the micro cinemas which can seat from 100 to 120 people. We have 5 of them right now, 1 in Manila and then 4 in the provinces. And then we see how we can expand our reach and help regional filmmakers through the Cinematheques, because this is a venue for them to exhibit their films and to have various workshops. And right now, we already have, I think, 2 more, no? 2 more requests for 2 more additional Cinematheques, 1 in Calibo, Aklan, and then 1 in Baguio. We used to have 1 in Baguio, but it had to be shut down, but there's a clamor for a Cinematheque in Baguio. And I know Pampanga is also asking for a Cinematheque. So I think that's also an imperative, because it gives an opportunity for our brothers from the provinces to gain access to cinema development, but more so to encourage regional filmmaking, which is also a priority of the FDCP. Okay. Raisha?
So next slide, please. So the total wish list for FDCP is 276,449,620.11 pesos. So this will be I know this is a big amount, but this will greatly help the industry, especially during this time that we are trying to survive. Next slide.
At saka libre naman po ang mangarap.
Next slide, please. So for the updates on priority projects from 2024, next slide. So first is the Film Heritage Building. This was already presented earlier, so we are already on the 45% rate of accomplishment. And per our latest coordination with the contractor, they will be the building will be completed by November this year. But of course, we have other requirements for the Philippine Film Archive to be officially transferred there. And then, next slide, please. And then for the Philippine film industry roadmap, we are currently in discussion with Olsberg. So this is a UK-based research institution that focuses on coming up with policy papers and roadmaps for the screen sector. So we hope to have this project finalized and completed, if not by the end of this year, first quarter next year. And we hope that this roadmap would help the industry to help the film industry have its strategic direction in terms of its development. Next slide, please.
Wait, can I interject again about surveys? Mr. Chair, we already had a survey done, which is an initial survey on the Philippine viewing habits and the changes that happened in the post-pandemic situation, and we shared this with our producers. But then we are still conducting a second survey. This is by the De La Salle University Research Group, which is a more extensive and intensive survey of the viewing habits and the changes that have happened in the entertainment ecology of our country. And this will be available by December. We are going to share them again with the producers as well as the other stakeholders and provide your office with a profile of how drastic the changes have happened in terms of the patronage of Philippine movies and movie-going in general. I heard you made mention of that with the MTRCB in terms of research. We are doing our research we can share with the other agencies. Yes, we did, and the first one was not very happy. Okay, we have lost completely the D&E markets who used to watch Philippine movies. We only have now the B and C1 markets watching movies. That is why kung makikita natin, maski yung mga...
What was the reason for the decline of the D&E?
Price of tickets.
Price of tickets.
They can no longer afford a 300 to 400 peso
Yes.
ticket. So, yung mga, I think that was very visible to Metro Manila Film Festivals ago, na ang nag-top grosser hindi Vice Ganda, ang nag-top grosser is Nadine Lustre, which is a very Gen Z kind of movie. Ito yung mga people who can afford, okay? At saka makikita rin sa pattern, it's basically now a middle class. Philippine cinema patronage is a middle class activity na wala na po ang masa.
Because of the high prices of tickets.
Price of ticket. At saka makikita din natin, nung nagbaba ang SM, remember, nung nag-65th anniversary sila, nag-65 pesos sila, nagkagulo. Dahil yung kasabikan ng tao na manood ng sine.
So, who regulates the prices of tickets? Yung mga theater owners?
Theater cinema operators.
Can't we just talk to them and lower the prices? Huh?
We tried. We tried,
So,
Sen.
what
We
are the
tried.
other options for, for us as a movie industry? I mean,
Okay,
to lower the prices of
well,
tickets.
in fairness to them, noong June 12, okay, remember June 12 was when they showed Inside Out 2 as well as the third week of Granny, okay, and then two Philippine movies also showed, which is
Basta one from Viva and then another one which is fruitcake, okay? And the other is playtime. Binaba ng mga sinihan ang presyo ng Philippine tickets, okay? Yung mga Philippine movies, ang presyo nila ginawan 270 as compared to almost 350, 400 ang Inside Out at saka ang Granny. Granny was about 270 as well. Wala pa rin nanood ng Philippine movies. Nangangahulugan na sometimes hindi yung presyo ng ticket kundi yung content na. That's why the challenge is for producers to really come up with better works. Okay, to not work the
Those
form.
initial findings, initial study, how much can the mass afford?
250 at most.
So how much is a ticket right now?
400, 300.
400.
Yeah.
So ang minimum wage dito sa Metro Manila is only 700.
Yeah, almost 600 plus. Oh.
No, 710.
Yeah,
No?
okay.
Dagdagan ng 50 pesos eh. So 710 if I'm not mistaken. So if kung dalawa kayo manunood, wala na kayong kakainin sa araw.
No, at saka hindi lang naman po panonood ng sine yan, yung transportation, yung kakain ka. Oo. So, talagang, it's an
So-
uphill battle.
So it's only the theater owners who can lower the prices of
Opo.
the tickets. So we cannot compel them, syempre.
No, we cannot.
Negosyo na.
At
hanap
saka
buhay
private
nila
po yan eh. Tapos nung kinausap po namin sila, nilatag nila kung ano yung mga expenditure nila na mga maintenance, etc., etc. Kailangan kasi talaga ang masa manood eh because ang dami eh nawala na. Tapos ang isa pang nangyari Sen kung bakit bumaba pa rin ang kita, nawala na yung repeat business. Remember before if you like a movie you watch it twice or thrice.
Yeah.
Now you watch it once and you wait for it to stream.
You waited for it.
To go to Netflix. Kasi yung iba ang window nila from movie house to Netflix is 45 days. So iintayin mo na
Only?
lang talaga. Yeah. 45 days.
45 days lang?
Mm-mm.
Di ba mga 6 months yan?
Hindi na. Nag-negotiate na sila. Oo. Matter of days. Kaya iniintay na lang. Yung second business mo, sa streaming mo na pinaano.
So it's not wise to produce a movie, really.
Huwag naman po.
No, well, given those facts.
Well, ang big jackpot talaga, di ba, Chair Lala, is the Metro Manila Film Fest. Pero again, in the Metro Manila Film Fest, hindi naman lahat ng 10 kumikita eh.
Yeah, I know. Meron isa yata na hindi talaga kumita. Dalawa na hindi talaga kumita.
No, even 3 ngayon. Pag 10 talaga, mga 3, 4 hindi kumikita. Oo.
Kasi number 1, yung number 2, malayo sa number 1 eh.
Grand Slam po, yung Rewind was a Grand Slam. In the same manner that now itong Unhappy For You is really a Grand Slam. But can you imagine, Sen, from January, the next big hit is August? All the months in between, flop lahat.
Wala talaga kumita. Sad talaga, no?
Mhm. Anyway, moving on.
Sige.
And then for the updates on the congressional initiative, so the nearline storage and network storage. So FDCP was able to receive additional budget of 15 million for the procurement of nearline storage. This would serve as or this would integrate all its digital process, all of PFA's digital processes for a more efficient and cost-saving processes. So this will also eliminate manual transferring of data and cost of transfer materials, and most importantly, man hours. Currently, the said storage equipment is slated to be procured in the 4th quarter of the year, also in time for the completion of the building by November this year. Next slide, please. And then for the OneFlix mobile app, we were also able to receive 5 million from the Senate. And of course, this will this aim to have for an easy to use and accessible mobile application of the OneFlix streaming platform. And then currently our exhibition division is working on the procurement of services for the development of the said mobile application. So it's now ongoing, and I think we have already identified the service provider for this mobile app. That's all for FDCP. Thank you.
Okay.
At saka Sen, hopefully we can get more support because ang pinaglalaban ng FDCP, and I guess like lahat naman ng mga ahensya involved in cinema, is the preservation of Philippine cinema because now it's really do or die.
Low utilization rate no 2024. So, can you just submit your wish list na lang? Ha? Dun sa 100, ano yung tinatanong?
Kanina incentives.
Yeah.
Meron na silang 100M sa NEP. Yan pa rin.
The DBM gave you a financial assistance of 100 million. Am I correct? This year's budget? Next year's budget?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Hindi pa pwede sakupin to? Yung mga, the one that you
Yung tier 2
presented?
po, hindi pa rin po. Okay.
Why?
I will for.
Mr. Chair, if I may explain po, no? Just to clarify on the backlogs earlier, these are grants ranging from the year 2020. And so these projects po usually, for the production of the films to be completed, it takes around 2 years. Some of them, because of the pandemic, were not able to liquidate their grants or complete their films in time. So what happened was, the budget allotted for these films have already lapsed. And so nagkapatong-patong po siya until nitong 2023. And so we're catching up on those projects na naglapse na po yung budget. Kaya po yung insertion that we're requesting is to operationalize the present cycles. Yung pinasok po ni DBM is for the backlogs po nung natitira pa from the previous years, from 2020 to 2023.
Sufficient na yun? Sufficient na yung 100M?
Kasama 100. More or less po.
So, aside from the 100 million that the DBM granted for the financial assistance FDCP, you still need this,
Yes po.
the one that
Yes.
you presented a
Opo,
while
kasi
ago?
ang ano po namin...
89 million?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. We've tweaked the mechanisms para po mas mabilis namin ma-disburse at hindi matenga yung pera sa FDCP. So, like for example po, yung Cycle 1 po dyan, upon signing of the agreement, the agency will disburse the 50% of the grant already. And in a year po, there are 2 cycles. So, yun po yung first tranche, and then second tranche, and then the third.
Okay. We'll see what we can do, no? Medyo malaki kasi yung as compared to the budget of the MTRCB. Mas malaki yung hinihingi ng ninyo. Well, I'll see what I can do. Siguro I can make representations with the DBM. But at any rate, only one question before we finish. No? Direct, Chairman, wala na ba tayong pag-asa na pumasok sa Oscars?
We are working on that. We are working on that not only on the area ng feature films, but even with documentaries and animation. Kasi it's not a matter of...
Ano yung strongest points natin for us to enter, for us to be nominated, at least to be nominated in Oscars?
Alam nyo, Sen, dalawa yan eh. Una yung gumawa ka ng magandang pelikula na meron talagang global appeal. Okay? That's part 1. Part 2 is the money you spend for the campaign.
Oh.
Ang isa pa kong...
The money that you spent for the campaign, so meaning to say you have to campaign this
Yeah. It's a campaign.
That's how it works, ha?
Yeah, that's how it works. At saka isa pa po, napaka-late natin ina-identify yung nominee natin. Yung ibang bansa, as early as March, alam na nila kung ano yung kakampanya nila. Ngayon po, we haven't even selected which one ang papadala. There are 8. I'm part of the jury that's supposed to nominate, no? To identify the nominee. Wala pa. So, September yan. Yung iba nangangampanya na, tayo wala pa. Ikalawa pa po, it's not a matter of may maganda kang pelikula, dapat yan ilabas sa festivals. Kasi ang pick-up niyan sa mga festivals eh.
International festivals.
International festivals. Hindi yung mga puchi-puchi festivals on the side. Pag nakapasok yan ng Cannes, nakapasok yan ng Berlin, it will create na the buzz. And that's the start of the campaign. So, we need to really reassess the film academy. Okay? because they're the ones who identify which is the
Film Academy of the
Yeah.
Philippines?
Film Academy is the one
Is
certified.
it still functional? Who heads it?
Hopefully it will be functional.
Who heads it?
Right now wala.
Oh,
May OIC lang si Manny Morfe. Hindi ba? No?
the production design?
Oo, OIC lang. Yeah, wala. Because since Ms. Velez stepped down, nobody wanted to assume the
Because there's no money there.
you have spoken, Mr. Chair.
Kaya walang gusto humawak.
No, at saka po yung mekanismo po yung mekanismo ng funding ng Film Academy. If you are dependent on the MMDA and the MMFF, ang laki ng problema mo. Kasi pag
How much does the Film Academy receive from the MMFF?
you know that I do not
How many
know.
percent?
I do not that I'm not sure.
Well, FDCP is not included, no?
Well, we do, but then we get a minimal percentage from the MMFF.
How many percent? The
How much
bulk goes to
How much did we get from last year?
About 250,000, Mr. Chair.
how many? That comprises how many percent?
God knows.
Maliit lang, 250,000
250,000 po.
only. Kanina napupunta yung bulk? If you know.
MMFF.
Sa MMFF. Kasi ang na-receive po ng FDCP this year tsaka yung last year, may kasama pa po siyang previous year. Hindi talaga namin
No.
masabi
What I'm
dito.
asking is that, di ba? Kasi I'm very familiar with it because it was my father who
Yeah, who
founded
did,
the
yeah.
Metro Manila Film Festival last 1970.
50 years ago.
5 or 74. And what I know is that was during the time of President Marcos Sr.
Yeah.
No, and the governor at the time was the First Lady.
Yeah.
And what I know about konting history lang is that my father let First Lady sign para magkaroon ng Metro Manila Film Festival. So lahat ng mga local films pwede lang ipalabas during during that period. Kaya nagrereklamo yung mga foreign outfits kasi yun lang talaga yung malakas na play dates. So yung amusement taxes exempted So bulk nung amusement, if my memory serves me right, bulk nung amusement taxes goes to Mowal Fund. I think 100%. Lahat nung amusement taxes goes to Mowal Fund, which also my father founded in.
Not anymore.
Yes, I know. Then when President Cory took over, it was Mowal Fund who was handling the Metro Manila Film Festival 1975. No, when President Cory took over, dinelegate niya sa MMC at that time, Metro Manila Commission. Ngayon MMDA. So lahat ng mga mayors ng Metro Manila involved na kahit walang alam sa pelikula. So the MMDA, and as we speak, is handling the Metro Manila Film Festival. That was the time during President Cory Aquino's term. So hinati-hati na lahat yung mga kita. So only a small percentage goes to Mowal Fund. No? Iba nasa I don't know, scriptwriter, Actors Guild, Scriptwriters Guild. Marami ng guilds ng pumarte-parte rin sa PAI.
Tax, yeah.
Sa amusement tax. I don't know ilan na yung I'm not privy to it, I'm not aware of it, kung ilan na yung porsyentong dinidivide dun sa PAI. So baka you may you can educate me kung ilan yung natatanggap ng FDCP, Actors Guild, Mowal Fund. Wala nakakaalam. It's only the MMDA siguro. Okay,
Basta all we know is we got 250,000 from
so I know,
last year.
doon sa 250,000, siguro wala pang 1% yun. MTRCB walang nakuha, no?
Wala kayo. OMB gets, ano? OMB gets.
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chair, the agencies that are sharing with the 5 or 10% of the earning are FAP, FDCP, OMB, Mowal Fund.
Even OMB?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Allergic ako rin. You know how many, percent?
I'm not sure if it's 5 or 10%.
Pero 2016 article pa yun.
Nabura. So, yung pinakamalaking agency, 10%. Ganun ba?
For the whole 5% that 4 agencies are sharing. That's why.
Maliit.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sige. Film Academy is one of the 5 beneficiaries of the MMFF. The other beneficiaries are Memorial Fund, 50%. Motion Picture Anti-Piracy, 20%. FDCP, 5%. OMB, 5%. Yun pong 20, ano ito? Kailan to? 2016 article pa to. Hindi natin alam kung
Napalitan na yun.
napalitan to. So yun. So siguro we have to increase yung percentage ng FTCP. MMDA ba nag-rule nito, nag-decide nito?
Yes,
Is
Mr. Chair. Yeah.
Solely the
Yeah.
the prerogative or decision of MMDA?
Yeah.
And who heads it? Si Artes?
Yeah.
Chairman Artes. Siya lang
Chairman.
mag-decide or yung mga Metro Manila mayors?
That we do not know. Kung who does the actual decision making inside. Meron daw. No. There is an MMFF EXICOM, but I don't know if the decision is within that group. Yun. Okay. MTRCB is part of that EXICOM, right? Yeah.
When I was mayor of San Juan, I used to chair the screening committee. I also became chairman of MMFF. That was the 90s.
Mhm.
The 90s when I chaired the MMFF. Alam mo, marami rin off the record na